Well, welcome to another edition of AKAU TV. I'm joined this morning by assistant trainer Sam Burgesson. How are you, Sam?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Hazy.
Excellent. Now, Mark Walker's down looking after the team in the South Island today, and he's obviously been down there yesterday where he had 3 winners on the card. So Sam's heading the team up north this weekend. A good result yesterday on the synthetic, firstly.
Yeah, awesome to get a result with those horses. Yeah, all nice. Couple of nice progressive horses, and then the older mares, Luminous, who'll even improve over a further trip. So no, it was good to get a result.
Absolutely, and those horses were Illicit Myths, Belle of the Ball, who was arguably one of the better maideners going around in the country, and of course Campionessa there as well yesterday. And also, what a great result last weekend with Imperatriz and the Foxbridge. She was really tuned up and ran away from them there by, I think, 5 1/4 lengths. A serious horse she is.
Yeah, she was outstanding. Obviously, you don't expect a result like that in such a big race. We knew she was sort of pretty ready to go, but couldn't have dreamed of that result. And she's come out of the run well, and looking forward to Hawke's Bay.
Absolutely, and she'll meet a couple of others there down in the Hawke's Bay. I understand Luck Creek, who she hasn't raced this campaign or obviously last season as well. So that'll be an interesting wee match up, and she'll go there in pretty good condition and order, I imagine.
Yeah. We actually saw La Creek gallop here yesterday morning. She looks a pretty sharp galloper. So, yeah, it should be an interesting matchup, and there'll be a few others there for sure.
Absolutely. So I guess just this weekend coming up, so we've got races down there in at Whanganui, and of course there's a couple of runners lining up at Riccarton Park before we cross over to Te Rapa on Sunday. So we're going to kick off there at Whanganui in race 1, the Dave Hoskin Carriers Maiden 2-year-old 800. 2 horses there that haven't been to the trials. They've obviously had a couple of jump outs at home. We'll kick off with number 6, Rhetorical, with Craig Grills on board.
Yeah, she's a lovely filly. Obviously, probably hard to get a line on the form here. There's not a lot of it. Yeah, they've both not trialled, but had a couple of jump outs with older horses and gone really well. And Mark's got a fantastic record with 2-year-olds. So we're expecting, two bold runs from both of them.
Absolutely, and I believe the mare or dam of Rhetorical, their Expression, beat Avantage once upon a time there as well, for a bit of trivia for you. So the next runner there, Rubicon Crossing, drawn barrier 3 for Fortuna Racing, Lisa Allpress on board.
Yeah, another one that's obviously jumped out well. Has a better barrier, and Lisa rides Wanganui really well, so she should be very competitive.
Great, and a good barrier draw there too. So race 4, the O'Leary's Filly Stakes, 3-year-old. It's a listed race for the 3-year-old fillies at set weight conditions. We've got Romancing the Moon. Again, Lisa Allpress takes the mount. Good barrier there in barrier 5. Yeah,
and it's trialled really well on 2 testing tracks at Te Rapa and Avondale. So like the heavy track at Wanganui should suit her, and any more rain would just help her chances and probably hinder a couple of the others. So look, she found a few too sharp for it at Taupo, but this looks like a really good race for her.
Fantastic. And race 6, another listed race there, the HS Dyke Whanganui Guineas. It's over 13.40 for the 3-year-old, set weight conditions. Last start winner, who was quite impressive there, Accidental Tourist, lines up with Craig Grills on board.
Yeah, another one that the testing track should suit. He was really impressive at Hara on a heavy track, and the horse that ran second actually came out and won here at Meta on Sunday. So like the form out of it's good, which is encouraging, and he's trained on well.
Fantastic. And that wraps up our runners there at Whanganui, and we head down the country there to Riccarton Park, where we kick off in race number 2, the Pride's Easy Fed, rating 75, benchmark 1200. We've got last start winner again on the synthetic there, Irish Red. Joe Cameron takes him out for barrier 7.
Yeah, she was great last week, obviously, and given a petrol ride by Jace. Up in grade, which is always a worry, but Mark's caught up with Mark there this morning, and he's really happy with her. She's bounced through the run.
Great. And race 3, the Murray Galanders Memorial 3-year-old. A couple of quite progressive 3-year-olds here, the first of which is Marlborough Bay. Went a pretty good race there at Taupo, sneaking up the inside, I believe, of Fellini there. Drawn out wide there in barrier 11, but has the country's leading jockey from last season, Michael McNabb, on board.
Yeah, obviously drawn wide, but Christchurch is only the dog league really, so it's not much of a bend. So yeah, no, not too much of a worry with that. Like you said, a good run at Taupo, and Fellini's obviously a very sharp galloper, so the form out of it's really good. It's hard to split the two. Two really interesting gallopers.
And the next horse there hasn't been seen since Boxing Day. That is Grace and Grey, where she bet Dynasa, who then went on obviously to win the Cracker Million 2-year-old and place in the Sistema. How do you rate her chances?
Yeah, another very talented galloper that she's just had a few hold-ups. Obviously was leading into the Cracker Million and was one of the favourites there, but had a few niggles, so we had to turn her out. Trialled super at Avondale, and she hadn't actually done a lot at home here leading into that trial. So, we were surprised with how forward she was. It was only over half a mile, but she's obviously very talented. Joe on board, who's ridden her a lot in her track work, so should know her well. Like I said, hard to split these two.
Fantastic. And race 4, the Ali Stokes Trust Charity Dinner, 22nd of September, rating 65, benchmark over 1,000 metres. Another quite talented horse lining up there in Dance Arena for Fortuna, drawn barrier 8 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, like you said, has a lot of ability. Well, we think we really like her. And she's actually another one that's had a few hold-ups and niggles, which is why she's so lightly raced. It looks like a very good race for 1,000 metres. Sort of on a straight shoot with not much of a bend. Looks like a really winnable race for her.
Great. And race 5, the Pauline Jeffs Open Handicap, over the 1,000 metres. Quite an interesting runner here. The last season's Concord winner, who then was last seen over the jumps there in the winter. Summer Monsoon, now an 8-year-old, drawn barrier 4 with Michael McNabb on board. Yeah,
the old boy. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve. He loves the jumping, but was unfortunately a bit disappointing. And loves the South Island. Always seems to go well down there. So hoping he can recapture some of that form.
Fantastic. And Burgundy Rose, drawn barrier 1 with Joe Cameron on board.
It goes well fresh. Hasn't run on a heavy track in a while, which might be a worry. I think the track's down there's a heavy 8 at the moment. It should hopefully improve. I think they might get a couple of showers today, but other than that, it should be quite fine. $2 is very short, but it looks like a really nice race for her. I don't think it's overly strong, so she's definitely a winning chance.
Great. And race 8 looks like quite a strong little field there. It is the Racecourse Hotel and Motor Lodge, rating 65. It's over the 1,400 metres. We've got another talented horse by Savabeel there in Invincible, drawn pretty wide there in barrier 15 with Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, she won a great race first up last week there. And the further she goes, the better she'll get. 1,400 is probably a little bit short for her, but she'll go back and expect her to find the line.
Fantastic. And that wraps up our runners there at Riccarton Park. And we're moving across to the Pakuranga Hunt meeting at Te Rapa there on Sunday. We kick off in race 2, the Maramarua Hunt maiden hurdle over 2,800 metres. We've got Devoted there, drawn barrier 7 with Michael Rouse to be on board.
Yeah, he's we've got him as fit as we can get him, and he'll be a nice jumper going forward. It looks like Dummy Myers' one there will be pretty hard to beat, but expect an improved performance from him anyway.
Fantastic. And then down to race 7, the RMS Contracting 1,200. It's an open handicap, and we've got 3 previous Group 1 winners lining up, the first of which was the Oaks winner 2 years ago, and Amaralina hasn't won a race since that race. She's drawn barrier 7 with Niranjan Palmer on board, claiming 3 kilos down to 59.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, hasn't won for a while, and this will be well short of her best. So just follow her later on, but she's sort of fit enough to go a bold showing.
Great. And on the bubbles, ran a bit of a head scratcher there at Ruakaka since trialled and has been on the Water Walker. How's he come up for this?
Yeah, obviously been disappointing. Ruakaka was, a bit of a head scratcher, and trialled at Avondale on a very testing track and was only okay. So he's been to the Water Walker. He's come back, but yeah, his 2 pieces of work this week are probably the best they've been this time in. So I don't want to get your hopes up, but I expect a much improved performance.
Fantastic. And the last season's Oaks won a Ballon Rouge, drawn at barrier 11 there with 55 kilos and Joe Cameron on board.
Yeah, again, like Emeralina, just look for her over further, but could show some cheek.
Fantastic. Righty-ho, moving down the page there, we go to race 9, the Wade Equine Coaches 1500 Open Handicap. Again, a very strong field this with horses like Vernon Me, True Enough, lining up there. We kick off there with Marcus Aurelius, drawn wide in barrier 15 with O.P. Boston on board.
Yeah, he was really good first up at Ruakaka. The heavy track would probably be the only worry in the draw, but he's a good, honest horse. He'll run a good race.
And Perfect Scenario carried a big weight there at Taupo to win impressively, running away from a pretty tidy field there. He gets a relief in the weights down to 54, plus the claim down to 51 with Niranjan Palmer on board.
Yeah, he was very impressive first up. Obviously, he goes from midweek to Saturday and then up to Open Handicap, so he will need to improve, but he seems to have trained on well, and look, he could be a rough each-way chance.
And Aromatic there, drawn barrier 5 with Joe Cameron on board, claiming 1.
Yeah, always there or thereabouts. Should cop the heavy track, and Joe knows her really well. Has ridden her a lot of times, so that's always a plus.
Awesome. Well, we got the best bet up last weekend there with Imperatriz, and I understand you've got the perfect record going into today. So can you give us one for the weekend?
Yeah, geez, I'm probably going to go short, play it safe. I really like Dance Arena down south.
Fantastic. So there you have it, Dance Arena down south there. Hopefully Sam can keep his 100% perfect record intact. So a quick look ahead to the week ahead. Sunday after Te Rapa, obviously we've got the Thoroughbred Horse of the Year Awards with a number of, I guess, runners from last season nominated, and hopefully it'll be a great celebration for some of the team and their great efforts last year, which I think we touched on last week. Outside of that, we return to Matamata on Wednesday before a big day of racing there on Saturday at Ruakaka and Hastings, where we have Tarzino Day. Imperatriz will be lining up there again. We've got a number of runners there in the El Rocker. Who can we see lining up there at this stage? I believe Fellini will be there, possibly Dynastic, and one maybe Lord Cosmos there as well.
Yeah, at this stage, yeah, those 3 penciled in. They're going well. Both all had a nice bit of fast work this morning, and we'll have another good hit out on Tuesday. But yeah, at this stage, those 3 look to be 3 nice chances. Beautiful.
And then the Gold Trail Stakes, who have we got lining up possibly there?
Sans Doot at this stage, she ran at Taupo last Wednesday. She's a really nice filly going forward, and looking further ahead, like a nice 1,000 guineas chance potentially.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. There's a couple of runners to look forward to next weekend, and we'll catch you again then for another wrap-up. We might even be lucky enough to have Sam back again next Friday.
Awesome.
Have a good week, guys, and good luck this evening.
Cheers, thank you.